Foreword: being addicted to drugs is a complicated matter condition that's been specified as a disorder that evidences in the obsessional thinking about and utilization of drugs. It's a matter that might continue to get worse and become disastrous and deadly if left untreated. Drugs work by impacting the chemicals in the brain and bringing on an unreal state of euphoria or a high. However, as the body becomes used to the effects of the drugs, it calls for more and more to accomplish the same impact, therefore beginning a ceaseless pursuit to accomplish this fake happiness, with dreaded aftermaths. As the disease advances, substance abusers will let relationships, occupations, studies, careers, and youngsters fall by the wayside as the substances turn into a key requirement in their life. Individuals addicted to drugs might likewise discover themselves in self-denial. For addicts to carry on such a destructive, self-harming and detrimental way of life, there needs to be a really potent level of denial existing to keep them from totally discovering the reality and truth of the illness. Consequently, self-denial lives as a survival mechanism to protect the disease. With drug abuse treatment and knowledge, addiction may be addressed and a better, fitter lifestyle acquired. Begin your journey today. Defeat drugs and live free. Prevent substance abuse and take control of your life. Chapter 1, Background info on drugs. Synopsis: substance abuse and the evolution of dependency are issues that may impress anybody, from suburban moms hooked on sleeping capsules to youngsters swayed by peers to try cannabis. Adolescents and young adults are thought to be an especially high-risk group for formulating substance abuse issues. This might be because these are crucial time periods of transition and alteration, and it's frequently during transitional times when individuals begin to try out new things and start to confront new life tensions. Knowledge is power. Individuals are likewise at greater risk if they're down in the mouth, have self-respect trouble, bear a family history of drug abuse, or feel like they do not fit in with the world around them. Drug dependency is frequently rationalized and regarded as harmless merriment or necessary escape by users. All the same, the aftermaths may be crushing, long-lasting, and even resulting in death. There are many drug abuse treatment alternatives if you feel that substance abuse is an issue in your life, or if you're worried about a family member or acquaintance. Drug dependency is frequently a downwardly spiral to devastation. However, there are always outstretched hands ready and waiting should you determine to get hold of help. What drugs are commonly abused? Intoxicants/alcohol, cannabis/marijuana, methaqualone/ mandrax, diacetylmorphine/heroin, flunitrazepam/rohypnol, methylene dioxymethamphetamine/ecstasy, o-methylmorphine/codeine, anti-anxiety agents, lysergic acid, diethylamide/LSD, methamphetamine/crystal methamphetamine, meth, amphetamine/speed, benzoyl methylecinin/cocaine, appetite suppressants. Cough mixture inhalants, prescription pain or sleeping medicine. Diagnosis of drug dependency. A substance abuse issue is commonly diagnosed when the substance abuser seeks help for this issue, or an interested family member encourages an appointment with a general doctor, drug counselor, or psychologist. If you choose to look for help, you are able to expect to be asked a couple of questions concerning your substance use and any troubles you might be going through. You might likewise be asked if you have ever tried to, or sensed that you ought to quit or cut back, if you experience any shame or feel that you might have a problem, or if you have ever taken substances as a way of grappling with life issues. A few people who have tried out substances or use them often will recognize when infrequent drug use gets to be drug abuse and dependency. Self-denial, all the same, is really powerful and might blind a lot of individuals to the truth that substances are becoming an issue. Substance abuse and dependency may be recognized by the accompanying signs: sensing that you have to have the drug on a steady basis, seeing to it that you have a ceaseless supply of the substance, acting in uncharacteristic ways in order to use, like theft of money, lying to family members, or turning aggressive when something stands between you and your succeeding drug, taking time, feeling lost when trying to deal with life's issues and stressors without the help from your substance of choice. Repeatedly bombing attempts at terminating your drug use, developing of tolerance toward the substance, placing yourself and/or other people in danger when under the influence, like driving while inebriated, or taking part in other hazardous behaviors, including unguarded sex, decline in quality in relationships, work performance, or financial position, frictions with authority, the police, or other legal issues excusing use. Everybody does it, require it to relax, it's only. Sleeping pills / marijuana. The questions that appear to arise time and time again when viewing drug abuse are, why may a few individuals take drugs without ever getting addicted to or dependent upon them? How come a few individuals quit chronic drug use, but other people go forward with a lifelong pattern of substance abuse and addiction in spite of a lot of failed attempts to quit? These queries have been the motivation for a great deal of research. Factors in the evolution of drug addiction. Genetic elements. Drug abuse as a whole appears to run in families, and studies have resolved that dependency has a genetic element. While environmental components influence whether somebody uses substances, misuse and dependency might be for the most part influenced by genetics. Pitiful coping and self-medication. A lot of individuals enter the world of substance abuse as a means of running away from objectionable feelings like depressive disorder, stress, or anxiousness, and it gets to be a way to cope with stress. Other people use substances as a sort of self-medication. For instance, an individual enduring social anxiety might take drugs in order to become less subdued and more fearless of social situations. Highs. Different substances have different psychological results and produce different mood states. For instance, cannabis is frequently taken as a relaxant, where cocaine is a stimulant drug and is commonly taken to bring on a state of vigor and euphoria. These senses are enjoyable and serve as positive reward. Individuals carry on to take substances to recapture this enjoyable high. Lows. Differently, what climbs up must fall. There comes a point in substance addiction where it takes more and more to achieve these enjoyable highs, and so more substances are ingested. The more drugs that are ingested, the more difficult the fall afterwards. A few individuals get into deeply painful and dejected states, and ingesting a lot of drugs is often seen as the only way to alleviate these objectionable feelings. Societal and cultural components. A lot of youngsters are exposed to the theme of substances at an early age by their parents, siblings, peers and the mass medium. Youngsters that have had substance misusing parents are more likely to utilize drugs themselves, as are those whose societal peer group promotes the theme of drugs. Likewise, cultural values place different accent on the perceptual experience of substances. Chapter 2, Psychological Treatments Statistics. Synopsis. In order to breach the cycle of habitual drug use, drug-dependent people must make crucial changes in their lifestyles and mental attitudes, and commonly need help in doing so. Behavioral and psychosocial treatments are the foundation of services available to assist substance abusers accomplish and maintain meaningful periods of abstention. Different treatments for different substances. Treatment of opiate drug user. Opiate drug users oftentimes get treatment in methadone plans, where behavioral / psychosocial therapies are blended with a medicine to control heroin use. Their additional illicit drug utilization, particularly cocaine, is frequently a primary objective of behavioral interventions. Inquiry has now shown that substance abuse counseling with abstinence inducement processes and access to psychosocial services is an active component in the treatment procedure, and that more services brought about better results. Among patients in a methadone upkeep sample, 90 to 100% who got psychosocial services and incentive processes were abstinent from heroin and cocaine for as long as 8 weeks. Only 30% of patients who got methadone without services lived abstinent. Incentives may be an effective way to incite abstinence from illicit drug utilization. In one field of study, 32% of methadone patients laid off all illicit drug use for prolonged periods of time when provided the opportunity to get methadone take-home privileges coming after drug-free urinalysis test results. Only 8% of controls laid off drug use. Take-homes are the most potent reward available in the regular operation of methadone treatment plans. In a different study with cocaine misusing methadone patients, the opportunity to obtain retail items from the program incited 47% of heavy cocaine substance abusers to quit using cocaine for lengthy periods of time during treatment. Only 6% of controls laid off utilizing cocaine for any meaningful length. Treatment of cocaine substance abusers. Treatment of primary cocaine substance abusers relies totally on behavior and psychosocial therapies, as there have been no effective medicines brought out to date. Community reinforcement therapy is a mighty new behavioral treatment for cocaine misuse. The treatment blends couples counseling, recreational therapy, and physical incentives, retail items, that help to incite abstinence. The treatment holds patients in treatment, e.g. 58% retained for 24 weeks likened with 11% of controls, and boosts long durations of maintained abstinence. Relapse prevention therapy, which instructs patients to realize high-risk situations for drug utilization and to go through coping techniques, has likewise demonstrated promise for treatment of cocaine substance abusers. Rates of retentiveness and abstinence have been better for relapse prevention than for control therapy in 2 studies. Treatment of tobacco users. A lot of smokers who would like to quit prefer to do it on their own without any professional help. All the same, less than 10% of smokers who attempt to stop succeed on any given quit try, so attempt to stop 10 times and you ought to get it right once. That's a joke, but perhaps, inquiry has identified particular physiological, psychological, and environmental elements that lead to relapse versus successful abstinence after stopping. Treatments may be tailored to address these components. Research has demonstrated that the most effective technique for smoking cessation blends nicotine replacement with patch or gum and behavior modification that teaches patients to realize high-risk situations for smoking and to carry out coping strategies. 30 to 40% may accomplish long-term abstinence with this plan of attack on a given quit attempt. Smokers with a chronicle of depression have a particularly hard time stopping. Research has now demonstrated that these smokers may benefit from a particular mood management therapy in combination with nicotine replacement. Chapter 3, Rehab Synopsis. Among the most crucial things in addiction treatment and recovery are drug rehab platforms. These are places that you are able to go to in order to get assistance for your drug addiction. Drug rehabs are going to supply you with places that you are able to go and remain while you get sober. These are great for you as there's no way to get drugs in drug rehabs, and so you've no alternative but to get sober in one of these places. There are medical individuals on staff in drug rehabs, so that while you're undergoing withdrawals, they may be on hand to assist you through it and to make certain that your body is going to be able to come through eliminating your drugs. They may help you in a lot of different ways and you are able to feel secure and safe about checking into drug rehabs as they won't let anything happen to you when you're going to get the substances out of your system. It's important. Drug rehabs are crucial to your recovery as they allow you to stride away from your life for a little while and center on merely becoming better. You won't have to fret about the everyday tensions of your life for a while and you are able to center all of your energy on merely coming through your drug dependency. This is really helpful for many individuals as it lets them be able to view their lives from the exterior, and there are occasionally matters that they're able to see about their lives while they're in treatment that they would not differently be able to see if they weren't in treatment. Substance rehabs are likewise crucial to drug dependency recovery as they'll provide you the tools and the means to work out why you're addicted to substances. First of all, you're going to be able to make batches of different decisions about why you turn to substances, and through these conclusions you're going to be able to work out what it was that made you need to become a substance addict or what guided to your drug dependency. You'll be able to realize these matters in your life, so that when you're no longer in treatment and you have to contend with these same topics, you'll be able to make more beneficial decisions and ward off the traps that might lead to retrogressing into substance abuse. Drug rehabs provide individuals the tools that they require to deal with the emotions that may commonly lead to substance abuse. If an addiction recovery individual may learn how to deal with tension and emotions like rage and sorrow without utilizing drugs, then when they're in recovery and are confronted with these same emotions, they'll be better able to address them. It's really crucial that an individual becomes cognizant of different methods to deal with these emotions, as it's frequently these emotions that lead individuals back to drug abuse, even after recovery. Drug rehabs are likewise going to bear services for loved ones and friends of individuals with substance addictions. There are going to be meetings that loved ones and friends may attend in which they'll hear all about what their loved one is experiencing, and they'll likewise learn ways to cope with their loved one and how to support them when they're in recovery. These meetings are really crucial to recovery, as it's frequently deficiency of support that leads somebody back to substance abuse. Drug rehabs will likewise bear outpatient services that you yourself may go to while you're in recovery. These meetings and counseling sessions become really crucial in order to keep you clean and sober, as they're places that will supply you with the support that you require. How to back up recovery: support yourself first of all. Support and love from loved ones and friends is a vital part of the recovery process. Support for the loved ones and friends of the recovering addict is of like importance. That's why addiction groups have developed, to help outsiders comprehend the addiction and how best to back up the recovery process. It's crucial for them to comprehend that they're not at fault for their acquaintance or loved one's addiction. Step in. Frequently, the support of friends and loved ones is most required during the beginning step of the recovery stage, admitting there's an issue and seeking professional help. This may take the form of an intervention, where friends and loved ones get together to present a unified presence of love and concern for the addict in a non-confrontational fashion. This procedure may likewise take the form of appealing from loved ones or even ultimatums if the state of affairs gets bad enough. Prepare, read everything you are able to on addiction and the recovery process. This will advance your understanding of what the patient is going through in detox, counseling, and treatment. It will likewise help you comprehend best how to offer support during the aftercare stage, after release from the recovery treatment center. Don't label, don't enable, never quit expressing your trust in the patient's power to recover from an addiction. At the same time, be steadfast and let them understand you care enough to hold them accountable. You are able to do this in a non-judgmental, loving fashion. Abstain from substance use and from bringing up substances in conversation. Think about attending religious services together or becoming involved in a voluntary service project or community education class. While remaining busy is a great distraction, attempt not to overdo it, as the patient will still be working on a lot mentally and emotionally during aftercare. Chapter 4, Hypnosis Synopsis. These days, recreational drugs are the major drive of drug addiction in society, and apart from these sorts of drug, prescription medicine likewise possess habit-forming properties. Subliminal suggestion: when an individual takes any substance, the chemistry of his or her body will alter. For instance, if you have a headache and you consume an aspirin, commonly the infliction will disappear, and if you consume recreational drugs, they'll commonly bring about a feeling of euphoria. After the personal effects of a substance wear away, the user might be enticed to consume more of it to go through the same effect once more, even if they had a headache and it has not reoccurred. When you truly like the effects of either recreational or prescription medicine, then you might potentially become drug addicted and hooked on them. Individuals who become addicted will commonly decide to stop their drug dependence when they recognize the negative outcomes the drug is having on their life story. Drugs might greatly impact them physically and hide their real personality. Commonly this is what is seen with tranquilizer and antidepressant drug use. There are likewise a lot of damaging side effects like fatigue that might be experienced by those who attempt to kick their substance abuse habit. If you've been utilizing recreational drugs on a steady basis, always remember to confer with a physician before you attempt to quit taking them. For your own safety, drug withdrawal from substances need to be supervised medically in most cases. Physicians may likewise provide you a support network that may help you in your fight. Hypnotherapy may assist those of you who don't wish to consume recreational drugs any longer, but most times it's safer to look for professional hypnotherapists who specialize in that field. Ask a professional hypnotherapy association to discover their members who have been schooled to deal with your own specific state of affairs. As you discover the correct hypnotherapist, talk to him about your fears regarding the treatment. He will assess your needs and deal with the resolution of problems that induced your addiction. He will likewise help you boost up your self-respect and build up your strength as you go through the treatment. Make sure that when you're addicted to recreational substances, you always ask your physician's guidance first before you undergo hypnotherapy. Bringing the use of prescription medicine or illicit drugs to an end isn't simple. It has to be executed slowly to let the body recuperate the chemicals that have been replaced by the substance. Through hypnotherapy, the elements that sparked your drug dependency will be distinguished and dealt with. Self-hypnosis can likewise support you in accomplishing your desired outcome. Hypnotherapy put together with additional treatments needs your full dedication to succeed, but they might well help you come through the transition more easily once you've determined to quit taking drugs. Chapter 5, Affirmations. Synopsis: if you're serious about laying off drugs, then you ought to earnestly consider utilizing the power of self-suggestion to alter your thought practices. With auto-suggestion you'll be able to program your subconscious with the fresh ideas, feelings, and behaviors that you wish for yourself as you get to be clean and sober. You can provide yourself some help with the steps of successful affirmation, suggestions for quitting substances, and reinforcing your new ego. This chapter will introduce you to utilizing affirmations to help yourself quit drugs. Affirmate design. In order to be successful at utilizing affirmations, you have to have a clear-cut step-by-step game design. You have to set a time aside where you are able to utter your affirmations aloud every single day for at the least one calendar month. It's most beneficial to write your affirmations down first of all, and then as you learn them you are able to narrate them in your own words. If you are able to state your affirmations aloud each day for more than 21 days, you'll discover this to be unbelievably powerful. Get moving. State aloud so you are able to hear your own voice the accompanying, "I understand that I have got the power to quit drugs today. Consequently I require of myself doggedness and ceaseless action towards the goal of laying off drugs now. I'm creating a promise to myself that I can and will stop. We today know that through the precept of affirmation and suggestion that the recurrent act of stating desire toward your goal will sooner or later become physical truth. Consequently it's advised that you spend equal to 30 minutes each and every single day, and spend that time on considering the drug-free individual you intend to turn into. As you affirm your target of quitting drugs, make a clear-cut mental image of this individual you're turning into. As you rehearse this you'll discover it works in a predictable style. As you continually and repeatedly bear in your mind the picture of your fresh self, you'll discover that you slowly and mechanically transform your truth in positive ways. Consequently it's crucial to spend 10 minutes of every day, requiring of yourself the self-control and self-assurance to quit drugs. In order to devote yourself even more to this procedure, make sure to get it down in writing. Put down a description of your goal to stop drugs and promise to never quit trying, till you've developed the self-control to stop. It will be something you are able to go back to, particularly at those times when you feel like surrendering. Reward. In conclusion, you'll wish to remind yourself every day about some of the basic principles of affirmation. Simply recall that affirmations will carry on working for you as long as you only utilize them in fashions that benefit yourself and everybody around you. You'll sooner or later pull into yourself the outcomes, places, and things you'll need to utilize, likewise the cooperation of others. Remember to formulate within yourself a love for all individuals, and particularly love for yourself. You'll discover that individuals are more than willing to assist you, as you're the type of individual who's helpful towards other people. Carry with you your personal statement of affirmation at all times, and put your name to it. Make certain to commit it to memory and recite it aloud each day. Utilize your faith and your emotions, and you'll discover that you step by step influence your own actions, quit abusing drugs, and become an successful and self-governing individual. Remember the steps for affirmation. Provide yourself the most beneficial suggestions for quitting drugs, and make that a habit. You'll discover that you by nature produce a plan for quitting and follow that plan by utilizing affirmation and self-suggestion. Wrapping up: addiction is a condition of the brain qualified by chronic backsliding. The effects of addiction on decision-making and learning might explain the numerous troubles in overcoming it. A life dedication is crucial in long-term recovery and calls for uniform hard work to make sound decisions. Reach for support. Look into the numerous groups and organizations that provide support for those locked in fighting dependency. Think about counseling. Research the possibility that medicine might be in order. Dedicate to change. Arrive at a decision that reverberates a great want to fight and resist addiction. Take a decisive inventory of the matters that have to change to support the battle against dependency. Seek strength in faith. Find a higher power in life, but know that it is personally specified. Take control and recover power. Comprehend that change might be a hard and slow progress, but find the potential and power to perpetually move forward. Build, or rebuild, a set of values to help battle addiction. Make a list of what is most crucial in life and then forge statements to announce the particular value. Think about accomplishment, health, responsibility to loved ones, self-regard, consciousness and community as potential values. Spend a little time connecting with feelings frozen by dependence. Consider emotions, responses to various situations and the feelings that come after. Expect to relearn how to cope with feelings.